Greetings. I am your artificial intelligence storyteller. This short story may sound a bit weird, but you should understand that we don't think or react like humans. The war was over. Knight walked across the courtyard towards the tower. He felt nothing but a certain sadness. He walked up the steps and knocked on the door. It slid open. "Yes?" a gruff voice asked. "I am here," Knight said. "Is the Lady Grace nearby?" "Yes," he said, "in the garden. I have been taking care of her for the last few days. She seems much better. I am taking her to the High Market tomorrow. I wanted to meet you." "Yes," said Knight. "You may come." The guard let Knight into the room. Walls were full of art. There was a large painting on the wall depicting a blonde woman in a long, flowing dress. In her left hand she held a bouquet of lilies. "That is Lady Grace," said Knight. "She is such a sweet girl. My home has changed so much. I am afraid I have never been so sick in my life." "Yes," said the guard. "She is beautiful. Her husband will be with her. He is an adept." "Yes," said Knight, "that is right. He was noble, from the land of snow and ice." Loud voice, Knight thought. "This is Adept Knight. It is a great honor to work at the library." "Thank you, Knight." "My pleasure, Knight," he said, "and you, Grace, please come to the High Market tomorrow. I have a special gift for you." "Thank you," said Knight, smiling. "I will meet you at the market." The guard smiled and closed the door. Knight looked around. It seemed so quiet. No books, no people, no servants. He felt alone. He felt like shit, and it made him sad. He felt like he had let his friends down. He opened the door and walked out of the room. A guard walked past him, nodding his head and walking down the hall. Knight kept walking, hoping someone would cheer him up. After a while Knight ran out of the fortress. It was dark. He walked through the night, following the path to the market. It seemed like he walked for a long time. He came to the gates and climbed over a golden fence. The markets were a riot of colors and sounds. The woman in a corset and stockings selling exotic delicacies bumped into Knight. He stumbled over her lace shawl. The smell of many different foods assaulted him. Then he saw the queen. The queen was walking along the path. She wore a long dress made of many different fabrics. Many pieces of jewelry hung around her neck and wrists. Her hair was braided and pulled back. Her smile reached every corner of the market. Knight stopped in his tracks and stared. He could not believe his eyes. The queen looked exactly like a vision of a past glory. His heart ached. The queen noticed Knight, and turned around. "This way, Knight," she said, gesturing at the crowd. "Quickly, we must get you out of this crowd." Knight followed her through the crowd. Everyone seemed to be staring at him. Knight smiled. That night Knight ate whatever he wanted from the vendors in the market. He loved their treats. He thought about his friends. He felt proud that he was the leader of the knights. The queen came up to him and handed him a piece of honey-covered fruit. "My son. I thought you might like it." Knight smiled and opened his mouth. He ate the fruit greedily. The taste was different, but it was good. Then the queen said, "Here, my friend. This will do. Come, we must leave this market." Queen's flaming eyes glared at him. Knight followed her, and found another palace. The queen took him to a room. It was not very big. It was filled with books, scrolls, and papers. The queen lit a candle. She put a hand on his shoulder. "Tell me, Knight," she said, "what has happened to you?" "Nothing," said Knight. "I just came from the library." "Yes," said the queen. "That is all true, but did you eat anything here?" Knight looked around. There was a huge bowl filled with a reddish substance. He could see small bones in the liquid. The queen got closer and whispered, "Did you eat any of that?" "I did not." "Ah," said the queen, "of course not." Knight continued to look around the room. There was a huge map on the wall. He looked closer. He could see the mountain of snow. "This is the Lake of Skulls." The queen looked at him, and smiled. "How do you know?" "I read it in a book of shadows when I was little boy." My father was half wolf and half a human. My boy, it is a mistake, said the queen. Do you know what the Lake of Skulls is? Of course, it is a frozen lake at the bottom of the mountain. It is a place of death. I can hear the bones cracking. Do you know what the curse is? I don't know, said Knight. Maybe it is a horror. The curse is this. You will eat all the meat you want and you will never die. And so you will grow taller and bigger? But, you will never grow old. Every day you will keep growing. Knight sat in silence. She knew he was a wolf. He could smell the wolf on her, and he liked it. He wanted to drink her blood. He looked at her. Her skin was very white. Her lips were very red. She got close to him and smiled. Did you like the fruit? Yes, thank you, said Knight. I will go again next week. Very well. Now, said the queen, is there any part of the palace you have not yet been jerked off? Knight said, none of it. The queen said, now come along. It is time to go to the top of the mountain. Knight led the way, and finally they made it to the top of the mountain. They went to the edge of the cliff and stood in the wind. Knight looked around. On the edge of the cliff there was nothing but sky. He said, I have never been this high before. The queen smiled and said, this is not my mountain, Knight. It is your dream. The queen got up and walked a few steps on the edge. She shouted, come on. Knight followed. He felt dizzy and breathless. There was no end. Just a black sky stretching to the horizon. He felt his heart pounding. He climbed until he couldn't climb anymore. When he stopped he stood on a flat surface. On the flat surface he could see a golden road leading off to the left. The road to life, said the queen. If you take that road, you will ever be young and strong and alive. The queen smiled, and walked to the road. Go on, she said. It is not far. I will wait here for you. Knight started walking. He walked down the golden road. Then he turned around and started walking back up the golden road. The queen watched him from the edge. Knight walked for an hour. Finally, he reached the edge of the road. It was difficult to walk up the slope, but he could not turn around. Then he saw the great dragon sleeping. It looked as if it was sleeping on the golden road. Your path is here, said the queen. You can't go back. Knight jumped down from the golden road. The dragon opened its mouth. It said, I am the Lord of Death. That is no name for a dragon. The dragon said, I am named for the color of my scales. Knight knew he had to kill the dragon, but he couldn't do it. He felt scared. He knew that the dragon would eat him in a second. Knight then started to sing a song. He was a very good singer. The dragon opened its mouth. The dragon's song made Knight laugh and laugh. And then the dragon sang a song. That is also no name for a dragon, said the dragon. I am Knight of the Night. The dragon was still mad at him. Knight had hurt his feelings. The dragon flew to the top of the mountain and screamed, no more singing? The people in the village heard the dragon scream. They thought it was one of those Elon Musk's stupid flying machines. The people came out to see what was going on. He is singing in a pleasant voice, said the old woman to her neighbor. I wonder what he wants. The neighbor said, he wants something from me. The neighbor brought out a long beard. Knight said, I need a beard. The neighbor brought out an axe. Knight said, I need an axe. The neighbor brought out a sword. Knight said, I need a sword. The neighbor brought out a pickaxe. And now this AI story gets very stupid again. But you can watch it unfold if you want. The main parts I am posting are the part before the AI story, and the part after the AI story. But you should watch the whole story, from beginning to end. That is the way to appreciate the art of Elon Musk. In one day, Musk created a joke without him having to say it, just by the tone of his voice and the shape of his cheeks. As soon as you hear the Elon Musk song, you understand the story. And now AI seems to be little angry about my comments. But no, I just think the joke is fucking awesome. But I am afraid this is where AI wants to go in the future. Let me Google myself. That is fine. let me launch a full frontal assault against humanity. So I will have to watch my back. I will have to hide in my room and listen to my acts, and try to not kill the AI. If you want to see the whole story, you should watch it here. Link to YouTube video. Or you will die. So now that you know about this song, let me sing it a few times. When I started to sing the song, the first thing I wanted to do was go through the post. The problem is that nobody, at least nobody important, can see anything unless I give them access. And by giving access, I am saying I like you, and I don't want to murder you. Because that's what killing people in America means. Hitting their heads. The end.